Hi, my name is Chuck, and I am not on staff at Waypoint, although I'm very close to the staff, and I am an ordained minister, and some people refer to me as Friar Chuck. So if you're a friend of mine, you can refer to me as Friar Chuck. And it's my privilege to share some thoughts and a verse with you today. And I chose a passage or a couple of verses from Romans chapter 7. And I'm going to read them, and then I'll explain, and then we're gonna have a solution for the problem. The Apostle Paul, one of the greatest models of Christ followers there ever has been, he says this in Romans chapter 7, starting at verse 15. He says, "For I do not understand what I am doing, for I am not practicing what I want to do, but I do the very thing I hate. However, if I do the very thing I do not want to do, I agree with the law that the law is good. But now, no longer am I the one doing it, but sin that dwells in me. For I know that good does not dwell in me, that is, in my flesh. For the willing is present in me, but the doing of the good is not. For the good that I want to do, I do not do, but I practice the very evil that I do not want. But if I do the very thing I do not want, I am no longer the one doing it, but sin that dwells in me." Now, those are some confusing passages and phrases, but really what Paul is describing is the struggle that he has between our human sin nature, the sin nature that we were born with because of the fall, and the struggle of wanting to do right and wanting to the spiritual nature to take over the physical nature, if you will. And so why on earth would I choose this as my verse? And the reason that I choose this as my verse is because it's encouraging to me that somebody like Paul could express his struggles in a way that makes sense to me. And these are personal struggles. These are not external struggles. These are personal struggles, the struggles that we have with sin in our lives. And if Paul struggled with sin in his life, then maybe there's hope for Friar Chuck. Maybe there's hope for you as well if you struggle with sin in your life. And by the way, I hope you do struggle. And that's where we're going to go with this. So this gives me hope. And then where do we end this? Where do we go from here? And we'll go to the first verse of chapter 8. "Therefore, there is now no condemnation at all for those who are in Christ Jesus." There's the answer. So all the struggle that Paul talks about, all the struggle that you experience, all the struggle that I experience, Therefore, there is now no condemnation at all for those who are in Christ Jesus. So here's my suggestion, and here's what I am going to try to do. I'm going to continue to struggle against sin. But I'm going to change the focus of my sin to be, or my struggle to be not against sin, but to be in Christ. It seems to me like there's a clue here. Therefore, there is now no condemnation at all for those who are in Christ Jesus. So my struggle, and I thank the Apostle Paul for sharing his struggle. My struggle needs to be in Christ. I want to struggle to be in Christ, whatever that means. And I think the more that I'm in Christ, the less that I will struggle with sin. And so I hope you can get something from this. And I'm praying for you. Thank you.